friends, it's Karen Cornell, your Creative Memories Advisor, and I am excited because it's another project recipe and we are just so close to the end. I mean, I can see the light at the end of this tunnel of doing these 52 project recipes this year, one every week, and we've done a great job. This week, we are going to do number 26. So let me switch my camera, and if you're new to me, please like and subscribe my channel and follow me on my Facebook page as well, Karen Cordell Scrapbooking. But I try to do these in under 30 minutes every week because I know we're all busy. We don't have time to get it all done. And we just want to get a good layout done and move on. So that is my goal for you and me. So let me switch the camera so you can see what we're going to do. So we are doing project recipe number 26. They used the seasonal sightings collection, which was a beautiful Christmas collection a couple years ago. And I kind of modified it and I did a gem tones collection, which I've had this collection. I have just a few pieces of paper left, which is what I used. And I was able to get it all done. And I think it turned out great. You have lots of room for photos. You have 6 photos available. You could also turn this layout so that it would be like this. And I didn't stick these down yet because I don't know how long my journaling is going to be yet. So that's why that's not stuck down. But you can also turn it so it looks like this, depending on if you have lots of vertical photos, which a lot of us do because we forget to turn the camera. So this gives you an option if you have lots of vertical. But I did it like this, and it turned out really cute. So without further ado, let's get started on this project recipe. Okay, so let's get started on that project recipe number 26. And remember, if you are new to me, I am going to walk you through every step, so you don't need this book, but start paying close attention because this book came out during the birthday celebration for Creative Memories, which is in November. So don't worry, I will tell you all about if they offer something like this again this year, but kind of we're getting close to November, so that's when they usually come out with a limited edition of a book like this that compiles all the previous project recipes and stuff, or sketches and stuff. So keep that in mind. But I will walk you through every step. This project recipe calls for 2 sheets of designer paper as your base and 2 sheets of designer paper to cut and 1 piece of cardstock. So 5 pieces of paper total. So you can do any combination of cardstock or designer paper. And the cuts are pretty easy. This is also one project recipe that you could turn on its side. So you could have, and I'll show you that at the end about how you could turn it if it works better for you. So depends on your photos. So let's get started. I have my base papers, and this one's kind of busy. It kind of hurts your eyes if you look at it right. But if you notice here, most of it is going to be covered up with pictures and mats and a border. So very little is going to show through, so I think it's going to be fine. I wouldn't put it on this side just because there's more showing and it just might be a little bit too hard on the eyes. So the first paper I'm going to cut is designer paper 1, and I'm going to cut it at 3 inches. Because see, I only needed 5.5 inches of this, and I have more than enough for that. So that's why I was like, I'm going to do it. So we're going to do 3 inches straight down, 3 by 12. Then we're going to do 1.5. Sorry, it's off a little bit. And that's going to be the reverse. And then we're going to do 1 inch. because I'm getting towards the end, I probably could have cut the 1 inch first and then gone backwards and then cut the 3 inches. If you're using scraps, you might want to do that. And then this is extra. And then we're going to do designer paper number 2, which is this one for me. So we're going to punch, then cut. So I'm going to get my handy dandy little mat here with my border maker, and I am going to use the Sunshine Arches. With this one, you want to make sure that it stays attached. So you want to make sure that you are staying connected on one side, or you could do two, it doesn't matter, but as long as it's staying connected to the paper, because in the recipe, it's going to stay attached and create a border. So that is how that works. So we're going to take this, we're going to punch it, and let me think this through because I want it to be this way for that. So I want to cut it this way. I'm thinking ahead of my mats and how I want the border to be looking. So that's why I thought it through how I want this paper to look. And then we're going to cut it at 1 1/2. So we're going to grab that handy dandy trimmer real quick. And we can just slide it over, and you're going to line up the top of your border to that line at 1 1/2 inches and then cut it. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, then I love it when you're like, your vision's starting to come together. You're like, oh yeah, this is going to look good. Okay. Trust your instincts sometimes. And then we're going to cut 6 1/2 straight down. Then we're going to turn it and do 4 1/2. Then another 4 1/2. Then we're going to do 1/2 inches. So we're going to go to the 1/2 inch mark, which is right here, that first line. It's weird because I normally go the other way, and so it's throwing me off. So I'm going to go back the other way. I always go, anything less than 1 inch, I go this way on my trimmer. And I know others feel the same way because you've commented on it this year. So we're going to do it again. And then this is scrap. And then this, we want to make it 3 3/4. So we're going to go to 3 3/4 right here. So we're just going to take a smidge off. And then we're going to punch both ends of this one. I don't know how everybody else's weather is doing, but Atlanta, we're starting to feel like fall. So it's kind of nice. I'm really tired of wearing summer clothes. And then we're going to just flip it around. It's fun when you have a border maker cartridge that stays attached, and you can do these fun little borders like this and experiment with different widths of your paper. Like this is 3 3/4, and it leaves a big gap in the middle where you can put other stuff, but you can put a border down the middle or really kind of layer that border. But you can even get closer and closer and get it so that it becomes a whole circle. So it's kind of fun to play around with punches when you first get them, or Border Maker cartridges. And because you create different designs, which is fun. So I love this system. If you don't have it, you definitely need it. So then we're going to cut our cardstock, and just in simple 4.5-inch squares. So we're going to go straight down at 4.5. And this is extra, and you're going to do another, because you're creating 4 squares that are 4.5. And if you want to wait to cut some of these match, you could wait, for especially these ones that are 4.5, because you could make them bigger on the left-hand page. I don't think that cut. I knew it when I did it. Let me line it back up. There we go. I think I'm getting to the point where it's starting to fray a little bit and not be a clean cut, so I need to turn my it's kind of gripping a little bit, so I need to turn this. It's getting real worn and a big groove in there, so I need to turn it and go to a 2 so it'll be nice and smooth for me for my next cuts. So it'll feel brand new again. Okay, now it's time to assemble. See, that took no time to cut all that out. I know it's hurting your eyes. I apologize, but it'll go away quickly. I just love this collection. It's just really pretty gem tones. Imagine the name, right? Okay. And I have my little guide here. So we're going to have this down here. This is up here. Then we have these. This is here. See this, I could have done a full sheet of paper, but this is a nice trick to lighten the weight of your layout by just taking little bits and pieces of it out. Sometimes it's too hard to do that, but sometimes it's pretty easy. So like this time. And then, oh wait, this goes over here. What am I doing? Sorry, just disregard that comment. I was like, something's not looking right. It's like, where are the flowers on the other page? This is what happens when I film at night for the next day. It's busy times. I'm trying to go out of town for a retreat. So I'm trying to get ready for that. And and they just had a launch, so I've got to get all that stuff ready for my customers. So it's just been a lot to get done. And then these are nice little strips that you can add. And for labeling, and I could do the same color, but I think I like adding another color in there. I think it's fun because you've got the green right there in the flowers there. And let's see. So we have these right here. Okay, looks good. Now let's get it down. But I know my flowers are sideways, but I feel like you can't really tell when you put it on here, so I think it's fine. Because I wanted to use the paper because it was just too pretty and I just had such a little bit of it left. So I didn't want to, when I'm using the rest of the collection, I didn't want to get stuck with a tiny sheet of paper. That seems kind of silly. And this collection did come with a lot of border stickers, so I'm going to kind of see if there's something I could put in the middle here, because I think that would be kind of cool. Now, I may end up changing the size of these photo mats, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit there in the middle and center my paper on my cutting mat so I can see where, oh, that didn't help, where I want to put them. I think that's good. Okay, moving on over. And you know what? I could, let me just see something. No, I like it on the other color. That kind of gets lost. I was just testing the waters. I love when CM does like lined paper, zigzag, because I can line it up perfectly and my paper won't go crooked. And then we're just putting this all on here. I may pull that up just a tiny bit just so it's more equal to this side, but we'll see. These I'm going to wait to put down so I can and I think I would definitely do different lengths based on what I want to say. And then the easy way to do that is just push it off to the side and then turn your paper over and cut it that way. And these I'm making just kind of a big square. Everything's going to be equal distance apart. There we go. Okay, so this is it. And this is, I have these cool gemstone borders, and I may add it. I may not. So I'm going to look at it, and I definitely will take the anti-stick powder and put it on the back of the border so I can kind of play with the different borders to see what I'd like to do and go from there. But lots of room for pictures. You have 6 photos on here. You can add, you know, I would definitely put some like big embellishment cluster here. And then you have room, you know, you could go here, you could go up here, you could go down here. You know, you have some options. And I will have my finished layout on the next little screen for you to look at. But I hope you have a fabulous day. Happy scrapping. I hope you get lots done this weekend. I'm going to be at a retreat and I can't wait to get lots done. So I hope you guys have a great day. Happy scrapping.